Hello everyone, welcome back to another yap. Today is kind of a bitter yap. Like, it is visibly freezing out here. We had an ice storm last night, so I heard the ice coming down on my roof. It sounded like my house was just gonna fall down. But yeah, it was a really bad storm last night, and all the roads were icy. And this path that I'm walking on right now, same thing. I'm sliding, I'm going ice skating. But I feel like this is a perfect opportunity to just get on here and yap, because I haven't made a video in a while, and I felt the urge to make a video. Again, I want to start just posting more content about my life and my journey and where I'm at. And also to just kind of talk about, where I'm at, and just kind of have these videos, even though I don't have a plan going into them or really what I'm going to say. I kind of just listen to what my heart and what God's telling me and see where the video goes from there. But I really felt the urge to come on here and talk today, even though I don't know what we're going to talk about. But I thank you for joining me on this walk, and I hope that you can enjoy spending some time with me. And if you get anything out of it, that's awesome. Even if it's just one person that needs to hear this, because again, I made a video of me on a walk not too long ago, but in that video I titled it forget what it was. It was something like, you need to hear this or something. But I think if this video ended up on your feed, it's not a coincidence that you're seeing it, because I don't have any tags under it. I don't have any description. It's just going to be, I prayed before making this video, and I pray that whoever this video is meant to reach, it will reach. And I'm just thankful that you were led here and you're just coming on a nice peaceful walk with me, because there is no one at this park right now. I live in America right now, so the Super Bowl is really a big thing where I'm at least. So that's, I think, going on tonight. Yeah, it's going on tonight. But I'm not really interested in that, so I'm out on a walk, and it's so cool because no one else is out here. I have the whole entire place to myself, and this ice that I'm ice skating on and not even walking. But we're gonna go on a little hike and come along with me. I did kind of have a general idea about what I did want to discuss before going in to this, because it is Sunday, and usually on Sundays, even when it's really cold out in the wintertime, I love going on walks. And I just love being out in nature, and that's honestly where I feel so connected to God and to creation. And just hearing the sounds of nature, but it being silent at the same time. I don't know if any of you guys can really understand that picture in your head, but if you just stop and observe right now, there's sounds, but it's so quiet. Look at this field. There's just openness. It's so cool. And I love it out here. And this is really where I feel the most creative and most connected to God, is out here. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about the ways in which we find rest, because I think in our society, a lot of times, we think we're resting, but we really aren't taking intentional rest. And I'd say rest that's really feeding our souls. I talk a lot on this channel about being distracted and the dangers of the distractions of this world. Because oftentimes, when we're really going through something or we have a lot of thoughts in our head, I think it's important to really sit with those thoughts and kind of just sit with God and like just really contemplate and just like kind of assess where your head's at and where your heart's at and where God wants you to be. Even if you feel like you're not getting a response from God, sometimes I think he just wants us to be silent and to sit with him. And I think the distractions of, especially a fast-paced technological society that we live in, where we have phones, we literally have everything we want at the tips of our hands, like at our fingertips. Like if we want, like I'm just going to use this as an example because I'm in the woods right now. There aren't any animals out here because I'm not in the complete wilderness. But like back in the day, when we wanted something, we really had to work for it. Like we had to forage, we had to gather food, we had to be resourceful, we had to literally work. And thankfully we have evolved into a society where we don't have to like literally and like a society that, like a fast-paced society that we live in, like we don't really have to be in our caveman type very primal sense that we used to be. Like obviously some societies don't have the advancements that the society I'm living in and am blessed and privileged to live in has, but for the most part we have technology, we have Wi-Fi, especially if you live in in like, for example, America, where I'm living in, or a country where there are resources. We have things at our easy disposal. Like if we want a meal for dinner tonight, we don't have to cook it. We could go out to a restaurant. Heck, we don't even need to leave our house to get food. We can order Uber Eats or something like that. Like if we want entertainment, we don't need to go out and watch a movie. We don't need to go out and buy a movie. Like we have it at our house, on our fingertips, on our phone right now. Like if you want to hear something or watch something, you have it right here. Like I can be living thousands of miles away from you. I can be in a completely different country from you right now, and you can still listen to me and hear me and like be present with me even though I'm so far away. And there are good sides and bad sides to all of that. Like I think like anything, too much of an extreme is bad. I think it's amazing that we have the ability to connect with so many people and learn so many different things and do many different things and experience many different things. Like if I didn't have YouTube, if I didn't have the internet, I like would not have been able to be as knowledgeable or enjoy some of the things that I am blessed to enjoy now, or have known some of the people that I know now. Like I've met people online, like I've met mentors and just many different things just through technology and through the internet. It really is an amazing thing, and we really are blessed to have it. And same with YouTube. And like too much of something though is too bad. I've been at points in my life where literally YouTube was like all that I consumed. Like I consumed so much of it, and like granted a lot of it was edifying content like this. Like I think it's great that you're watching videos like this, like wanting to improve yourself, wanting to grow spiritually. Like it's important that you're watching this. And like I'll be honest, if you're watching still 9 minutes in, like you have a really good attention span, and it's very rare for people nowadays to watch long form content like this, just because of like TikTok and shorts. Like everything is so for our quick, easy consumption. And that's just the way our society is. But again, like, too much of something is too extreme. And just getting back into my point of rest and how this ties into everything is, usually I like to take Sundays to rest because I might have mentioned this in the last video, but God, the creator of this entire universe, created the whole entire world, but still rested on the seventh day. And he does call us to rest. Like, he wants us to, like, obviously, yes, work hard. Obviously not to the point where, you know, we have to forage for all of our food. Most of us don't have to do that. Most of us are blessed and privileged enough where we don't have to literally go out and physically forage for food and live in the woods. We have technology, but God wants us to work hard. Like, I'm not saying don't work hard, like, don't put in effort. Like, he wants us to work so hard that we can also rest hard. Like, work hard, play hard. You know the saying. Like, I've been at points in my life where I literally wasn't doing anything to serve God. I wasn't doing anything to just better the world. There were so many days when, you know, I was younger, when I was in school, I would literally just rot and play video games all day. I'd wake up at like 2 p.m. and maybe eat something, maybe do like a brief workout or go for a walk or something, and then literally just rot and play video games for like 8 hours and watch YouTube. And guys, like, when I was doing that, I was resting, but to be honest, I was at the lowest point in my life at that point. Like, I felt such a lack of purpose when I was engaged in that. Like, literally, it felt like Groundhog Day, like an endless cycle. Wake up 2 p.m, go to bed like 4 or 5 a.m. And like, yes, that looks like resting. Oh, I'm getting rest. I'm resting my body. I'm doing this. But guys, long term, that is like causing so much of a burnout, because I think a lot of times burnout, I heard this from somewhere, so this isn't my own thoughts. I actually like heard this from a guy's short on Instagram talking about burnout, and he was saying oftentimes it's not a matter of like having a lot of work. It can be caused by that, but I think burnout a lot of times is just an overwhelming of everything, all the tasks you have to do, a cluttering of your mind, and honestly, like, despite all that rest on the surface, I was so burnt out. I didn't have purpose. I didn't have any direction with my life. I was just existing. And some of you might be in that boat now. You know, I was using YouTube to literally, yes, like, there were some points where I was watching informative content like this, and things to like better myself. But also too, a thing to keep in mind, and some of you might be in this boat now, you might be watching this content, self-improvement, how to grow spiritually, but are you taking any action to actually better yourself? Like, you might have all this knowledge about something, but are you taking action on it? And that was a place that I was at for such a long time, where I thought just because I was watching all these like edifying things and I was learning all these things, like, I thought that I was bettering myself, but I was literally living that same exact cycle every day. Like, I'm watching self-improvement videos and, you know, videos to help me grow closer to God, but I wasn't taking any action. I was hearing these things, but it was going in one ear and out the other. Guys, like, my life was not reflecting what I was consuming. Let me like rephrase that. I think a lot of times you're a reflection of what you're consuming. Essentially, I was consuming so much and producing so little. I was learning so much and hearing so much, I should use hearing, but I wasn't taking any action on it. Literally, like I said, my days felt like Groundhog Day. I was doing the same exact thing, getting the same results, eating like the same thing. It was like really depressing. And, you know, no matter how organized your life is, or no matter what your personality is, like I have a personality that tends to the side of not being structured with a lot of things. Like, I don't like to have a lot of structure in my life. I know some people that literally plan out every day to the half hour, the 15 minutes. I am not like that. But even if you aren't that type of person, our bodies, our minds still tend to go to some routine. Like, even when I was at that point in my life where I didn't have any direction, any structure, I was still in a very similar routine where I was going to bed at like the wee hours of the morning, getting up around the same time, playing the same video games, watching the same type of content, trying to better myself, but not actually bettering myself. I was taking absolutely no action. And that's kind of what I wanted to title the video. Like, if you're watching this far, you guys might be in a similar boat to me, or you might have experienced something similar where like you're watching a lot of videos, or you're hearing like a lot of things, but you know, you're not taking action. And I know it can be hard to take action. We might not have any direction or any really sense of purpose, but sometimes you just got to start, even if you don't have a solid plan in mind. That's something that I've really had to learn to overcome, is just like, because I have like a very perfectionist type spirit about me. So like, I always felt like in order to do something, I needed to have all of the dots checked off, all of the boxes checked off, like everything complete before I even started. And kind of like this, in my experience, like for the longest time, I've had such a like desire in my heart to want to start like posting content and creating YouTube videos, because guys, YouTube is like my life growing up. Like, I watch more YouTube than I watch TV. Like, people always joke, they're like, I've only seen like 5 movies in my entire life and I barely watch any TV shows. And they're like, what do you do? And I'm like, I just watch YouTube, bro. Like, I don't know if any of you can relate, but like, I love YouTube. And for the longest time, I've just felt this nudge from God to like create and start posting content. And like, I would hear like people talk about it, or talk about like improving their lives, like even completely unrelated to YouTube. And I wasn't taking any action. I would even literally create content on my phone, but I wouldn't post it. And like, something told me one day to just start, bro. Like, just do it wherever you're at. Like, even if you don't know where you're going, just start and see where it leads, because you never know where God will take you with it. And like, even though I don't have like a wide audience, I'm still grateful for everyone who watches. And I always say this to myself, like, even if just one person can, you know, benefit or be encouraged by a video or something that I say, like, I feel like that's enough. And I feel like, if anything, that is what drives me. That's what gives me purpose. And I hope you can find something in your life about that too. Like, even if it's not starting YouTube, like, what's a passion that you have where you can really like feel like you're serving and just giving back to this world? Because You know, a lot of times when I've been in ruts in my life and where I felt like I've lacked purpose and where I felt I wasn't doing anything or taking any action, I felt the most connected to God and connected to my purpose when I was just giving back to the world in some way. Whether that's like, you know, I don't know what it looks like for you. I can't be the judge of that. Only that's a thing between you and God, and just really tuning into yourself and what God has to hear, or what God has to say, and just being silent with him. So yeah, and back to the whole distraction thing. Like a lot of times, like if you've been busy or you have a lot going on and you're busy with work, you know, you might say to yourself, I'm going to distract myself, or I'm going to rest. And that form of rest looks like watching TV, or, you know, scrolling on YouTube, or scrolling on TikTok. You know, that's a lie, I think, a lot of times from, you know, from society and from the media and like those companies that want us to continue to just keep consuming and not producing anything. I'm a big proponent on like, what are we creating? I personally believe that we should be creating and producing more than consuming, because that's how we kind of get stuck in this cycle of like maybe feeling like we lack a purpose because we're just consuming other people's content. And even like, I'm not saying you have to be a content creator, I'm not saying you have to post videos on YouTube, but I'm saying like, what are areas in your life, what's a passion that you have that you just want to share with the world? Even if it's something crazy like I don't know, I can't think of something. Like, what's something that like you are really passionate about that like you just want to share with the world? Even it doesn't even have to be online. Like, it could be in your local community, at your job, at your school, at your church, whatever it is. Like, how can you just be there for your community, or for other people? Because that's truly how we find purpose. And also too, back to the whole distractions thing, like a lot of times God just wants us to be silent with him and to take rest and refuge in God. You know, there are so many times where I've just had the longest week at work, or I've had the longest day, or I've just had a lot going on in my life, and I'll get home and I just want to watch YouTube, or I just want to go to sleep. And don't get me wrong, sleep is great. Like, you should be resting your body, but like just taking like mindless naps, or I'm like sliding down this hill right now, it's so fun. But doing like mindless activities when sometimes God just wants us to draw near to him and be near to him. Because a lot of times, just like, I mean, whatever you believe in, but I think a lot of times the lie from you know, the enemy is that he wants us to be disconnected from God and not be in prayer, or not be worshiping God. Because I truly believe that we're meant to worship the Creator. Like, me just standing here right now, just stopping for a minute and just hearing just creation, like, that's a form of worship. And like, God really just wants to be close to you at the end of the day. And a lot of times those distractions, TikTok, constant consumption of the media, just draws us further away from that. And I'm not saying never do that. Like, guys, I still be watching YouTube all the time. But it's just a matter of like how you're prioritizing your time like that. Like, are you making space for God? Are you making time to really be introspective with yourself? Because I think a lot of times if we're not taking those moments to really listen to what God has to say, or listen, or like tune into our soul's yearning, it's very difficult to hear when we're so distracted. Yeah, I always talk about the theme of distraction on this channel, but I think it's a really important reminder, and just something to be aware of. But this video is getting really long, and I don't have gloves, and my hands are getting really cold. I also dog sit this dog, so my hands are like bitten up. But it's a little puppy, so cute. But like literally, I'm going to enjoy the rest of this walk because the sun is coming down and it's getting closer to summer or spring, which I'm really excited about. So the days are getting longer and I can be out on walks longer. And guys, I just feel so free out here, and you just need to find something that allows you to feel like that, that gives you purpose. Like, even if it's just being out alone in the woods or in nature, whatever you like to do. I mean, some of you might not like to do that, but like, what's something that you truly believe is edifying and just a way that kind of glorifies God, something that you can do to glorify God today, or to help someone else, even if it's just one person, or even if that one person is yourself. Like, you know, a lot of times, like, for at least an example for me in these videos, like, even if no one watches this video, because I know my community is pretty small, like, even if no one watches this video, I truly believe that God talks to me and encourages me through these videos, because I have no idea what I'm going to say coming in, but I kind of just let God lead and end up where we're at now at 27 minutes. So I thank you guys for watching, especially if you watched this far. I truly believe that you're an amazing person and you have a really great purpose, especially if you've watched this far, and that God led you here, because like I mentioned, I had no hashtags, no description attached to this video. So if this video ended up on your timeline or you watched this far, I truly believe that it was meant to find you, and I'm grateful it did. And I thank you for being here. I thank you for all my new and current subscribers. Thanks for being along with me on this journey, and I hope you guys do great things in life, and even come back to this video and say, like, what's a passion of yours, or even if like a year down the line, and you remember this video and come back to it and you feel like you were encouraged by something and you did something with it. Like, I want to hear about it. I love hearing about your guys' experiences, and it really encourages me as well. So thank you all, you beautiful people, for watching. I love you all, and God loves you, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.